Hello. I've really wanted to make a video like this, just to do a big overview of one of the biggest things that happened in my life. And it is a eating disorder called ARFID, Avoidant Restricted Food Intake Disorder. This video is going to be kind of me rambling and kind of not having me on a script, which I will be mumbling a lot and I will be messing up a lot because that's just who I am. So this all started in 2018, the summer of 2018. I was going into 8th grade. I didn't really notice it as an eating disorder till like halfway through the semester, but pretty much, I don't know what happened, but one day I just randomly stopped eating as much. And I just didn't have enough food to sustain me. And I kind of kept getting weaker and weaker as the semester kept going. And I would like to add that, well, it's going to be mentioned later, but I have autism. And it kind of goes along with this a lot. But I've always been a picky eater all my life. Even before that, I used to eat pretty well. I just wouldn't eat certain foods, and still today I will eat certain foods. but um, but yeah, during 2018, 2019, I kept going to the doctor like every 2 weeks, a week, just to check how I'm doing, because I kept getting worse and worse physically. Um, I know I'm gonna be mentioning weight, but as a 5'5" individual, I weighed about 97 pounds. And oh, that's horrible to think about. Um, and the most I weighed before the hospital visit happened was 101. And for some reason, I could never get past it. So, me going to the doctor's office every 1 to 2 weeks, it was just the same old thing. They did the stand up, sit down test just to see how my heart is. I was switching through therapists to help me because the therapist I was with was like a therapist I had for like anxiety, depression, because I was having some bit of panic attacks the year before, like really bad ones, and my depression was slowly kicking in. And um, I'm thinking, let my brain think for a second. Um, and I had switched to a therapist that um who she focused more on people that couldn't stop eating, who was overweight, and you just wouldn't find someone that deals with an eating disorder that's for them being underweight because it's always relating to anorexia, bulimia, all that, which I didn't have. I didn't have, when I looked in the mirror, I was like, huh, I want to be more skinny. I didn't feel that way. I wanted to be a bit more fatter. um, but we'll get into that. But yeah, my health kept declining and declining until the beginning. Was it the beginning? The beginning of July of 2019, my health got so bad that I had to go into the hospital. And I didn't really know how to process that at first. It was just like, at first I was just like, okay, I'm here. They put like a lot of like, they were checking my heart. They put a thing in my arm where like a blood vessel is. That's pretty like you can get to pretty well. So they were always drawing my blood every single day. They put some stuff around my chest to check on my heart like every single second of the day. So the first day, I mean, it was the first day. I didn't really think much of it until I could barely, I could barely fucking sleep the first night, and I woke up and I felt horrible. I was like, because I was like, I mean, I was a teenager. Well, was I a teenager? Yes, I was a teenager. Um, and not having a phone on me, I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? It was a little hard on me. Um, but then I just woke up and I felt horrible. The first day that I was at the hospital, so pretty much I had to eat um, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then snacks in between those. And if I failed to eat them all, I would have had to drink this disgusting chocolate milk called Boost every single time if I did it. And I was suffering so much because it tastes so disgusting. Um, and um, Thankfully, I only got to do it like one or two times in the hospital before I actually just finished all my food because I did not want to taste that again. Um, but pretty much when I was in that hospital room, I couldn't stand, walk. Well, I could stand, but very little. I couldn't walk for like at least like 2 3 days. I had to lay in the room. I had to lay in the room and just kind of do nothing, which sucks. Um, when so yeah, so it was like that. But pretty much the first day, I kind of struggled a lot to eat because I was like, oh my god, food in my system. Um, and I was just kind of eating alone the first day. Um, at the end of the day, I think I was having. Let me think. I I had dinner. I think I ate most of it. Um, and then the night snack, which was like I think just a bowl full of strawberries. I I tried try to eat them, and then I just felt like I was gonna throw up, and I kept warning the doctors. I was like, I think I'm gonna throw up, and sure enough, I threw up, which made them freak out a little bit. Um, and it's because my stomach wasn't big enough to hold all that food in. So yeah, um, but thankfully, um, that night they pretty much put me on a lot of vitamins to make sure I'm like all set and good. And then I was like, hey, can I take melatonin? I really need to sleep tonight. So I took melatonin. So I slept all right. It's weird because my the place where they put that like tubey like blood thing so they could get my blood um is around like the crescent of the arm or whatever. So I couldn't bend my arm for like a whole week. Um, and so the second day, it was all right. I mean, it was okay. It's like I think that was the day that I could look around the area of the hospital. Like everyone was on the floor, mainly for people that were not eating. Um, mainly teenagers and kids. Um, and I had to go around in a wheelchair for a bit. um, and I was like, I need to do something. I'm so bored here. Um, and they had a bookshelf, and I was like, oh, okay, I can probably try to read something. And I did pick out a book, which throughout the whole visit, I read the whole book and I enjoyed it. I don't even remember what the book was called, but I enjoyed it. Um, and during meals, I would be with two other. It was two, and it was like three at one point. Two people that um was also eating with me because just to make it a little bit more lively. And then there was also a person just monitoring us. Okay, and I like to mention I had exactly 30 minutes to eat every single main meal. And that was a bit hard on me because I'm like, a time limit? That sucks. Um, I didn't like that. Um, but the people there, I don't remember them that well. They were like, they were alright. I was like, okay. Um, and it just sucked. It sucked. Um, yeah, they were playing Uno like a lot of the time. And I was like, I don't really want to play. I'd rather read my book. Um, so yeah, it was kind of like that. So pretty much throughout every day, which by the way, this hospital visit was a week long. um, I would try to do something. Like I would try to read. I would try to watch a movie. My mom would bring me Lego sets sometimes to build and do something. It was just tiring and tiring. Um, uh, so pretty much, let me mention with my weight again. When I got into the hospital at that moment, I was 94 pounds. That is the lowest I will ever be. Don't get to that weight if you're 5'5". Um, and getting out of the hospital visit, I was 97. So after the hospital visit was over, and I got to see my phone again, it was a bit overwhelming to see life again. To talk to my friends, which a lot of my friends back then were online. Um, we're online. I had a boyfriend at the time who I'm still friends with, but we're not. Of course, we're not dating. They're just a good friend, but that was just a mistake I did. And during that time of getting out, I was so emotionally out of it that we kind of broke up and all that. So, um, and so yeah, it kind of destroyed me a little bit during that time. But anyways, when I got out, I had to go into this eating disorder place. Like it was like a daily thing throughout the week, not the weekends. That I would go to mainly for either lunch or dinner or breakfast and lunch. Um, to help monitor my eating, my weight, and how I'm doing physically. So a normal day would have been like, let me try to remember this. It's been like it's been like 5 years. Um, so like let's just say I have breakfast and lunch. So breakfast, I would get there, eat breakfast, and then I would go over to this one place and do my vitals. And if my laying down vitals were over 100, I would have to drink Gatorade. It sucked. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I actually like Gatorade, but I was like, oh okay. Um, and then we would do stuff. So yeah, I would be. So I was. So when I was there, I was pretty much one girl out of like 8, 10 other girls in that room that also suffered through the same thing as me, but not entirely. Um, and those girls, they they definitely had some problems like me, but they had a bit more problems than me. I thought a lot of them were weird. Um, but pretty much we used to do stuff like activities about eating and all that, and just like learning about the human body, blah 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 blah, venting, therapy, whatever. I pretty much had a therapist with me. She was a weird lady. I didn't really like her. Um, and when I was there, I learned because the first few days I started noticing I wasn't eating that great. I took a very slow time of eating. I couldn't finish my meals at all. Um, and that worried me. And then slowly, then I learned that I had an eating disorder called ARFID. I'd never heard of it. It was very new. It was a very new eating disorder. Oh my god. There wasn't a lot of work done on it. And I had to learn about that. And with someone that didn't know that they were autistic, it was like, oh, okay. Um, so pretty much, if you don't know, ARFID is pretty much. I have to explain in my terms because my terms are a bit different from people. People are like, oh, it's just picky eating, blah, 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 blah. No, I get so nervous and scared that I am going to choke on my food every single second I eat my food. Anywhere I am. I'm usually the safest at home eating. I even feel a bit in my mouth because I was eating some Chinese food and still I feel like it's still in my mouth. Ugh. Drink. Okay. Um, so pretty much I felt like I was gonna choke every single point of my life. And when food felt weird in my throat, I would freak the fuck out. Um, I freak out so much. Um, and of course, with autism, food textures were awful. If I didn't like a food, then yeah. Um, but yeah, that, and then I didn't really have body issues. I was like, I want to be fatter. I don't want to be skinny. Blah 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 blah. And I felt cold a lot. I felt like unmotivated to eat. Um, yeah, all that stuff. But mainly, the choking part is the big problem. So pretty much, I have a hard time eating in public. So that's why whenever I go out with people to eat, I usually do not eat anything. I usually drink something, and that's it. I am 5 years later. I'm still working on that. But yeah, that eating disorder place, I pretty much was there for the rest of my summer. That whole summer, I just wasted my life there, but I did learn some stuff. When I did go there again, I was like 97 pounds, and when I got out, I was 108. That is the most I've ever been. How do I know these numbers? I learned them later in life. Um, um, and so a lot of those people were weird in there, but which I had to deal with that. And when I got out of the place, I was just going into high school, and with because stuff happened in my school friend group, and it just kind of fell apart. I was just really like depressed and sad during high school. I was just during all of high school I was very very lonely. um I was very lonely, and usually when I ate lunch at school, I would usually eat alone. Um the bear when I first got into high school my freshman year, I would eat goldfish crackers cuz I couldn't think of anything else to eat. Um because I was like trying to eat something simple so I don't have to feel like I'm going to choke. And then also when I went into school in the morning, because school started at like 8 something, um, I would have like a smoothie before I go to school. And that helped me a bit. It helped boost some stuff. And also, every single morning and every single night, I drink a drink called instant breakfast. It's pretty much chocolate milk. I pretty much have chocolate milk twice a day, but with vitamins and minerals and all that. Um, and that's kind of how I survived. What the simple foods like drinks and like yogurt and and smoothies and all that were like very simple, nutritious, easy food for me to eat, and that's how it's always been. Because when I got out again, I was like 108, and then I had to go to this therapist who I hated. She was pretty much whenever I lost like a pound, she would talk really deep to me about like, why would you do that? Work better next time. And that just overwhelmed me so much that I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I don't think you even know ARFID that well. um, and that kind of traumatized me a little bit because now I don't have a therapist right now, but I don't really want to have therapy with like people that deal with eating because they're always gonna tell me when I lose weight, why would you do that? Like work better next time. And that would just like just not in that tone, but like that's pretty much what they're saying. And I'm just like it makes me like feel like I'm pressured to like I'm very much pressured, and I don't like that. um and that kind of traumatized me. Because I don't like people checking my weight unless it's like a doctor being like, wow, that's how much you weigh. Um, but yeah, I've been like, I was pretty like a normal weight, and then COVID happened, and then I was just, normal weight. I was just, I was mainly at home, so I was like eating fine. Um, and then during, COVID, during, what year was it? 2021, I moved to another state, and because we didn't like where we were living, and I was like, oh, a fresh new start. My junior year of high school is gonna be so cool. Um, and then a lot of crap happened in junior year of high school. And when I moved, my weight was actually going down, and I didn't really notice it until later. That when I moved, it was getting worse and worse to the point that I learned that it went to 97, and that scared me. That scared me so much that I just literally had a panic attack looking at it. Um, and I like to mention this because I forgot. I took a medication that literally helped me with my eating. I hate that medication and I still have to take it to this day, or I am gonna feel absolutely awful if I don't take it. Um, I don't mind really saying it, but it's olanzapine. I hate that pill so much. Pretty much, it does good, stimulates my appetite, good. Bad part, I get really, really sleepy. I get so sleepy that I can sleep in for about 12 hours a day. So it's really hard for me. It used to be so hard for me. Um, yeah. So yeah, it kept going down and down, and um, until I learned, what was it, 2023. I went to this like doctor's office for like food stuff because my eating wasn't getting better. Um, and and they were like, we need to help you. And pretty much, oh yeah, I like to mention, I learned that I was autistic probably like a year before that, and I was like, oh my god, that makes so much sense about me. About wow, I should come on, parents, you should have told me that I had autism all my life. Um, and that really, that's why I'm like socially awkward and don't know how to talk and picky eating and all that. Um, but yeah, these doctors were like um trying to help me, and uh they were also saying like, do you have OCD too? And I'm like, oh my god, because OCD is like, what if. I think of what ifs all the time. All the damn time. um so I was like, I learned that, but also I don't know, just going to that doctor made me learn like, wow. But I slowly got better at eating, and before that, well, after that, I was getting into college. I went to a community. I am going to a community college right now, and um, going to that community college would, it's gonna be was gonna be rough on me, cause like, oh, I have to be at this place for a little bit of my time. I have to drive over there. Ooh, I get car anxiety. um, and just drive there and try to eat there, and that was a little bit hard for me. Um, and um, but then I started taking this antidepressant, which I know people have heard about, Lexapro. I started taking it, and for some reason, the beginning of 2024, I started gaining weight like crazy. um, and like till right now, I have almost gained. I'm almost to 120 pounds, which shocked me. I was like, oh my god, I'm actually over that weight. I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually healthy now. and and trying to get to that point, which I'm still struggling. I still have choking issues, definitely in public still. I'm doing a bit better. Um, I still have trouble eating. Like sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to eat anything because nothing sounds good. But yeah, I'm really trying to. I have a supportive boyfriend who's been helping me and understands that I go through that. Um, I have parents that somewhat understand me. Sometimes they don't. And I've just trying to do my best because I also like to mention um, that I've been struggling to have jobs because of this. Because a lot of jobs, you know, you gotta work like 6, 8 hours a day, and I physically just cannot do that because I can't eat anything during that time because I get so nervous and I get so worried, and I really I really need money and just yeah, and that's just how it's been like. I still struggle with it, but I have definitely grown from everything. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about all this, and this I'm surprised how far this has gone. This video has gone. Thank you. Bye.